Welcome back to Kyle's Big Board, presented by the Straight Facts Podcast, a series where we take the top players in the NBA draft, count them down, and analyze their games. Today we'll be looking at number 13 prospect on my big board, Tyrese Maxey. Maxey's a shooting guard from Garland, Texas, who played just 1 year at college at the University of Kentucky. Let's break down his game. Let's get into his strengths. First, he's just a bucket. He's a natural scorer. Anytime he touches the ball, it's a threat to go in the basket. He averaged 14 points per game his freshman year at Kentucky, shooting a respectable 43%. He's comfortable off the dribble, finishing at the rim, scoring at either level coming off the pick and rolls. The only part he needs to put into his arsenal is probably the three ball, but we're going to touch on that later in the video. His next strength is his defense. He's an excellent on-ball defender with a strong frame. He plays hard, moves the ball laterally, making him able to defend the pick and roll well, and just from watching the way he shifts his feet and turns his hips on defense shows he's been taught well and definitely has the potential to become an elite defender in the NBA. He's also a good off-ball defender. He stays engaged at all times, which is something a lot of NBA players don't even do. He also anticipates where the ball is going to be while oftentimes beating the opponents to their spots. The last strength for Maxey is he's just a winner. He went 66-11 in high school, 26-0 in his district, was a huge part of why Kentucky was ranked number 8 in the country last year, but most importantly, he's a winner late in games. I'm talking about being clutch. He's not afraid to take the late game shots. He had a huge one to knock off number 1 ranked Michigan State early last season, but he's also not afraid to defend the other team's best player down the stretch. This is a major plus coming into the draft. You want these type of guys from the draft. The best lottery picks are the ones that exemplify this type of confidence, especially down the stretch of games. Now, this wouldn't be a full breakdown video if we didn't talk about his weaknesses, because all these prospects have them. So Maxey, his first weakness is he's just not the ideal size for his position. Simply put, he's not a point guard, and at only 6'3", that's not good size for a 2 guard. Another thing is he's just not explosive off the dribble. It's what really solidifies me that he's not a point guard. Though he's able to beat a lot of guys off the dribble in college, it's going to be a lot harder for him in the NBA. He just lacks that high-level quickness and acceleration you need to create space for his shots to get up. These skills are definitely what I think he needs to work on the most, as he needs to become a secondary playmaker to maximize his potential in the NBA. His last weakness, three-point shooting. He only shot 29% from 3 last season, and though I think he's a better shooter than that number shows, he needs more practice, and I think he does get it at the NBA level. He was a good three-point shooter in high school and pulls from the NBA range a lot, so maybe it's just more practice for him to get the three ball into his arsenal, but as of now he doesn't have it, so it has to be listed as a weakness. Alright, let's get into an NBA comparison. It's tough for Maxey being a 6'3" shooting guard. I mean, instantly you think of Donovan Mitchell, but I think there's someone better than that, and that's Lou Williams. Lou Will came into the league the same way as Maxey is. An undersized guard with a knack for scoring, but not a great shooter. Regardless of what team Maxey goes for, he's going to be relied on to get buckets, and maybe not much more than that right away. Whether this will be starting as a sixth man or further down the bench will depend on who the team takes him, but this is in and out the Lou Will role. To conclude, Tyrese Maxey is a very interesting prospect coming into the draft. Some have him ranked as high as 7, and others as low as the early 20s, and while I don't entirely agree with either of these extremes, I'm definitely high on him, listing him number 13 on my 2020 NBA draft big board. He's one of the best scorers in the entire draft, who also holds his own on the defensive side of the ball. This type of potential cannot be looked past, and if he does drop below the lottery, I think he needs to be picked up right away, regardless of team needs. His skill set's set up to be a star in this league, and that's what you look for in the draft. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Kyle's Big Board presented by the Straight Facts Podcast. Let me know what you guys think of Maxey in the comment section below, and don't forget to tune in next time when I break down the number 12 prospect on my big board. I hope everyone's staying safe, staying healthy, and of course, getting buckets. I'll see you guys next time.